A tough loss for the Air Force Falcons today as they fall to the Fresno State Bulldogs 68-66. They had it in their clutches, but Fresno State really took control of this basketball game in the second half, Roland. I thought that they built an 11-point lead and then kind of hung on.
Air Force was able to claw their way back in a couple times, just didn't have the momentum, didn't have enough energy to get that lead in the second half. Fresno State so strong. We'll look at some of the stats. We'll talk about that three-point percentage that really started to ramp up for Fresno State. That's what kept them in the lead.
It certainly did, and that's what happened out in California the last time these two teams met. So the Bulldogs get the victory, and they sweep the season series against the Falcons. Here's a look at some of the numbers of the day and some of that Roland was talking about. 62% from three for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's so much for Fresno State. They moved the basketball really well. We saw in the first half, they got disjointed. Air Force was able to fly around. Defensively, they discombobulated Fresno State, but something clicked there at halftime. Fresno State was able to go on a couple of runs, and when Air Force responded, again, they just didn't have enough in the legs to the Falcons to get over Fresno State, all because of the lead that Fresno State had built themselves.
And despite those 19 turnovers that they forced from the Bulldogs, it just wasn't enough. Let's take a look at the highlights. Jeffrey Mills, we said he was going to have a good game. Well, he had a career high with 20.
Absolutely fantastic performance from Jeffrey Mills. So unlucky not to be able to tie this basketball game late on, but Mills was absolutely everywhere. The outstanding player for the Air Force Falcons.
And Ritas Petrides put the team on his back in the second half, late down the stretch. He had a three-point play there and then came back with a nice three-pointer.
He was so tough down low, able to hit that three late on. Air Force, again, scratching, clawing, keeping themselves in this basketball game, but in the end, just not enough. Fresno State getting contributions from all over the court.
Jalen Weaver got to the basket too easily a couple of times. He had the three there, but how about Xavier Dussel, career high 29, 7 of 8 from three-point land.
And he cooled off at the end of this basketball game. That's the crazy thing. He had 27 with 8 minutes left in this game, and Air Force was able to shut him down, but he was so impressive. Fresno State, again, sharing the basketball around, getting contributions, knocking down big shots when they needed them.
Absolutely. It's a whale of a basketball game, but it ends up not in favor of the Air Force Falcons. So the Falcons fall again, this time to the Fresno State Bulldogs. Up next for them, they'll be on the road against San Jose State. Another winnable basketball game, but Joe Scott hopefully taking some good pointers from this game to the next game, right, Roland?
He needs to use that energy, needs to translate it onto the road. If he can get big performances like he got tonight, Falcons have a great chance.
Absolutely. We've seen it. We've seen it before on the road at UNLV. This Falcon team won by 32 points. That, unfortunately, their only conference win of the year. Well, thank you so much for watching today. We hope you enjoyed a good basketball game. The Falcons lose this one 68-66. We'll see you next time right back here on the Mountain West Network.